6:30 a.m. Alarm. You open your eyes, and for the first few seconds you look at the ceiling. There's a crack on the ceiling, stretching from the chandelier to the window. You could have fixed it in a single day, along with the entire building. It stays. Later you'll understand why. You get up, go to the kitchen, and put the kettle on. Your apartment is ordinary. Not run down, just exactly ordinary. Clean, simple, nothing extra, nothing memorable. A realtor shows an apartment like this in 8 minutes. Outside the window is a gray courtyard. A neighbor is warming up his 9-year-old Kia. An ordinary morning of an ordinary person, except for one detail. While the water is boiling, you pick up your phone and open an app. Not the one that everyone has, a different one. And the number $750 million lights up on the screen. Not rubles, dollars. 750 and another 6 zeros after it. You look at it for about 3 seconds, the way people look at the weather forecast. You close it, pour your coffee. Nobody knows about this number. Not your mother, who shoves 5,000 into your hand every time you meet, saying, "Buy yourself a decent jacket." Not your friends, who invite you to chip in for a barbecue and apologize in advance that it will come out to $1,500 per person. Not your colleagues, not your boss, not the girl from the next entrance who greets you by the elevator. To the rest of the world, you are a guy in his 30s in a nondescript jacket with an average salary and no special prospects. But don't get it twisted. You don't live poorly. You live invisibly. And those are different things. It's just that your money is spent where nobody looks. The mattress you sleep on costs as much as a used foreign car, but it looks like a mattress. Once every 6 months, you undergo a full medical examination at the best clinic in the country, booked under a different last name. Twice a year, you disappear. Your colleagues think you're visiting relatives in the region, but you fly business class to the other side of the planet, to a place where no one will bump into you by chance. Sleep, health, time, silence, safety. That is what your money goes toward. Everything invisible is the best possible. Everything visible is designed so that a glance slides right off and doesn't catch. A jacket nobody will look at twice. A car nobody will remember. And the crack on the ceiling isn't poverty, it's makeup. Part of the costume you put on every morning. Why? No, this isn't the witness protection program, and you aren't crazy. You have a reason. A real, heavy reason to stay silent, and you try not to think about it. But today, you won't be able to avoid it. Today, one phone call in the evening will make you remember everything. For now, you put on that very jacket you feel ashamed of in front of your mom, and you go out into the city. And here's what's strange. When you have nearly $750 million in your account, the world doesn't become more luxurious. It becomes more transparent. You start seeing money everywhere, real and painted. You see who is crying, who is faking it, who is drowning, and who is smiling. It's like an X-ray you can't turn off. And the first snapshot of this X-ray is waiting for you right now in the coffee shop across the street from your house. A coffee shop like any other. You get the simplest black coffee, sit by the window, and then he lands at the next table. You hear him before you see him. He is talking on the phone so the whole room can hear. A guy around 25, Supreme hoodie, fresh sneakers for 50 grand. On his wrist, a watch that looks expensive from afar. On the table, the latest MacBook and an iPhone that came out 2 months ago. He finishes the conversation with the words, "All right, bro, let's work. $1 million isn't money," and starts filming a story. He films his MacBook, his 600 ruble coffee with golden foam, his watch in a separate shot, turning his wrist to the light. He captions it with something about success being discipline. And you know what you see? What none of his followers see. The hoodie was bought on an installment plan. The sneakers are on a credit card at 26% APR because the bank won't give him normal terms anymore. The iPhone is on a 24-month payment plan with 21 months left to pay. The MacBook isn't even his. He borrowed it from a friend for the shoot. The watch is a replica. And he knows it, which is why he never lets anyone hold it. His apartment rent is a week overdue. He has maybe $8,000, perhaps $10,000 on his card, and about $300,000 in debt that grows every month because he pays off one loan with another. How do you know this? From nowhere in particular. It's just that when you have real money, you unerringly sense when someone is faking it. Like a musician hearing a false note. Real money is lazy and quiet. It doesn't need to prove itself. But everything that shines, spins in front of the camera, and says, "A million isn't money," screams just one thing. Look at me. Believe me. I really need you to believe me. And here's the most interesting part. This guy isn't a scammer or a fool. He is a victim. Since he was 14, every screen has told him that wealth is a picture. First you fake success, then it comes. They sold him the display window, but forgot to mention there has to be a store behind it. Now he pays 26% APR, just so strangers on the internet will think he made it. He isn't buying things, he's buying other people's gazes. The most expensive currency in the world, and the most useless. You two spend money in strictly opposite ways. He pays for the visible and has nothing inside. You pay for the invisible. That is the entire difference between the image of wealth and actual wealth. You finish your coffee. Walking past, you hear him say to the camera, "Remember, those who think like beggars stay beggars." You could buy this coffee shop, the whole chain, the company that sews his hoodie. But you simply hold the door for him because he's walking out at the same time as you, phone to his face. He doesn't say thank you. People in nondescript jackets are invisible to him. If only he knew that the invisible man holding the door is worth more than everyone he is following combined. By the way, if you're already starting to guess what money really looks like without cameras and showing off, subscribe. This X-ray is only going to get harsher. You walk to the subway. A workday is ahead. Yes, you still go to work. An ordinary office, an ordinary position. And in 40 minutes, a man who earns less in a year than your account generates in a morning will reprimand you in front of the whole department, and you will stand there and stay silent. And here is why this silence is the most powerful thing you do all day. The office greets you with the smell of vending machine coffee and the hum of the air conditioner. You sit at your desk, third from the window, gray like everyone else's. There's a yellow sticky note on the monitor. Meeting at 10. You know what that means. Yesterday, the department submitted a quarterly report. They found a mistake in the report, and someone has to answer for it. And you already know who. Not because you made the mistake, but because that's how your boss is wired. He's pushing 50. His jackets are slightly more expensive than he can afford, and his watch is exactly what it takes to make his subordinates think he's successful. His 5-year loan crossover is parked closest to the entrance, and he has a rule he considers managerial wisdom. Once a week, someone must be publicly torn apart to keep the team on their toes. At 10 o'clock, you are standing in the meeting room. He holds the printed report with 2 fingers like a dead mouse and begins, loudly, with pauses, savoring it. "This," he says, "this is what you call work?" He lists your shortcomings, half of which are his own edits that he added last week. Your colleagues look at the floor. Some are quietly relieved that it's not their turn today. And you stand there, nodding, saying, "Understood. I'll fix it." Now let's calculate what no one in this meeting room sees. Your money is invested boringly and securely. No casino. Regular conservative instruments. Even so, the capital brings in tens of millions of dollars a year, over $100,000 a day, about $5,000 an hour. While your boss spends 12 minutes teaching you about life, your account gets $1,000 heavier. His annual salary, including his bonus and 13th month, drops into your account in about 9 hours. Not 9 months, 9 hours. In the span of one of his monologues, you earn more than he does in a shift. You could make 2 phone calls right now, and by evening, you'd own the company where he so proudly wears his jacket. That image even flashes in your head for a second and a half, then fades. Because you know something he doesn't. Petty revenge is the tax the weak pay to their ego. Buying a company just to fire one person is like buying an airplane to crush an ant. It's not even about the money. It's about the fact that the ant would start meaning something to you, and he shouldn't. But here's what's more important. Look at these people in the meeting room. Every one of them is silent because they're afraid. Mortgages, loans, kids. What will they do if they get fired? Their silence is fear. Yours is the only choice in this room. You are the only one here working voluntarily. You can stand up in the middle of this meeting, walk out, and never come back. And nothing in your life will change. This is the main thing money gives you. Not yachts, but the absence of fear. Nobody in this building even guesses what it's like to live fearing absolutely nothing. And you've forgotten what it's like to live otherwise. Why work then? Because work is your alibi. An ordinary person needs documents to confirm their identity. A secret billionaire needs an ordinary life to confirm their legend. The salary explains your apartment, your jacket, your morning coffee. Remove the work, and the questions begin. Where do you get your money? What do you do all day? Questions are cracks, and secrets leak through cracks. But there is a second reason, more honest than the first. Without these people, without meetings and sticky notes, your life would turn into an empty apartment with a number on a phone. You've already been through that once. You don't want to remember it, but tonight you'll have to. The meeting ends. The boss throws the printout on the table. And in general, say thank you that you even have this job. You say thank you and leave the meeting room as the richest man not only in this office, but likely in the entire district, including the owners of all the business centers around. On your lunch break, you take your secret to a place where people in nondescript jackets are treated even more honestly than in offices. The bank. Lunchtime. You need to close an old account, a 10-minute formality. You walk into a branch of a major bank, take a ticket, wait, and watch the play that unfolds here every day. Only the audience doesn't notice it because they are acting in it themselves. At window number 3 sits an old lady, over 70. A manager with a rehearsed smile opens a deposit account for her and says, "Let me also set you up with investment life insurance. It's like a deposit, only more profitable." The old lady nods. She believes him. A bank is almost like the government. She doesn't know she's signing a contract that freezes her money for 5 years with absolutely no guaranteed returns, while the manager will get a bonus for this sale 3 times larger than for a regular deposit. It's not fraud. It's all legal. It's just that the law was written by those who understand the fine print, for those who don't read it. Your turn. Window number 5. Behind the glass is a guy with the eyes of someone whose sales quota has been on fire for 2 weeks. He looks at you for exactly 1 second. Nondescript jacket, simple haircut, a 3-year-old phone. Done. Evaluation complete, label attached. Unpromising client, no need to try. The coffee they are offering that man in the suit over there isn't offered to you. He mutters, "Closing an account? Passport, wait." He types without looking, and then, automatically, in a bored voice, "Shall we issue a credit card? 120 days interest-free." A credit card. For you. A person who could buy this entire branch along with him and the coffee machine for the suited clients. And here's what you realize sitting in this chair. The bank is the only place on earth where money truly judges a book by its cover. No money? They'll push a loan at 30%. A little money? They'll sell you unnecessary insurance. But when there is truly a lot of it, you simply aren't seen here. Because real money doesn't go to bank branches. Real money has a separate entrance, a separate floor, and a personal manager who drives to wherever you tell him. You know, because you have one. He calls twice a month from a different number and addresses you by your full name and patronymic. The guy behind the glass serves your legend. The other one serves your money. These two worlds never intersect. You take your passport, politely decline the credit card, and leave. You have 20 minutes left on your lunch break, and you spend them on a little weakness, the only one you allow yourself. Across the street is a car dealership. Big, glass, with cars that you look at the way others look at paintings. You just want to walk in, but the man behind the glass doors has already seen your jacket and has already decided everything. The doors slide open with a soft hiss, and the smell of new leather and polish crashes over you. A smell they design on purpose because it sells better than any manager. The lighting is like a theater. Every car has its own spotlight. And there it is, in the center of the room. The one. You know everything about it. The engine, the acceleration, how long the delivery takes. You walk up and just look. The salesman appears a minute later. Fitted suit, gelled hair, every strand in place. He walks not to you, but to the car. He stands between you like a security guard and makes a face, a mix of boredom and slight disgust. He looks you up and down from your shoes to your collar and delivers his verdict. Did you want something? The emphasis is on you. You say, just looking, beautiful car. He purses his lips. You can look on the website. Here, people buy. And already turning away. It costs $18 million, just so you know. Just so you know. You do the math in your head. Roughly $200,000. Less than 2 days' work for your capital. You could buy it today and another one for spare parts. And the entire dealership, along with the smell of leather and the gel on his head. In any movie, this is when the moment of revenge happens. A black card, wrap them both up, and you enjoy the look on his face. A beautiful scene. Do you know why it only happens in movies? Because in real life, you don't pay for it with money. Watch what happens if you pull out that card. The salesman will tell his colleagues. The colleagues will tell their acquaintances. In a week, a guy will come in here and ask, "Who is that guy who bought a car from you dressed like a loader?" Information is water. A finger-wide crack is enough. Someone will remember the face. Someone will Google it. Someone will connect the dots. And the secret you've guarded for years will die for 20 seconds of a stranger's shock. The real price of this scene isn't $18 million. The real price is your entire life, which you'll have to rebuild from scratch. The weak care what the salesman thinks of them. You have 750 million reasons not to care at all. And there's something else this guy will never guess. You look at the car not as a dream. A dream is when you can't. You can, and therefore, you are free. The desire to own dies the moment the word can't disappears. What's left is a calm interest, like in a museum. That's the secret that show-offs will never understand. Things only have power over those who can't afford them. This salesman works among cars he can't buy, and therefore he despises everyone who, in his eyes, can't buy them either. He guards someone else's wealth like a dog guarding a food warehouse it will never get to eat from. You walk out. The doors hiss behind you. In the parking lot, you get into your car, a 10-year-old, Japanese, reliable, unmemorable car. And then the phone rings. No, not that call yet. This one is from your other life. On the screen is a name you've known for 20 years, your best friend. You shared a desk in school. He let you copy his physics homework. You covered for him in front of his parents. You pick up, and from the first 2 seconds of silence, you understand everything. This is how people stay silent when they've been gathering the courage to call for a week and rehearsing their first sentence. "Hey," he says, a little too cheerfully. "How are you? How are things? The weather, work?" 3 minutes of warm-up. You play along, you don't rush him. And finally, he breathes out. Listen, here's the thing. It's really awkward. Could you lend me about $40,000 until payday? I'll pay it back at the end of the month, honestly. It's just that my wife needs dental work. The treatment is insanely expensive, and my credit card is maxed out. His voice cracks on the last words. For a grown 40-year-old man, saying these words physically hurts. You know what this call cost him. He prepared for a week and chose you because you won't lecture him, and you won't tell anyone. You say, "Of course, brother, no question. I'll send it right now." You hear him exhale. "Thank you, you're the best. I'll pay it back, don't worry." He will. He always pays it back, even when he doesn't have to. You hang up, open the app, the regular payroll one, and transfer $40,000. Your capital earned that money while your friend was saying the word awkward. But stop right here. Here, in the car in the parking lot, the heaviest scene of your day is happening, and nobody in the world sees the drama in it. Your true friend, proven by 20 years, is suffocating. Mortgage, credit cards, a failing car, a job he hates but is terrified to lose. You know all his debts. He told you himself over beers, laughing the way people laugh so they don't howl. Totaling about $2.5 million. To you, that's less than a day's income. One transfer, and your friend wakes up as a man who owes nothing to anyone. You can do it right now, without getting out of your seat. Your finger hovers over the screen, but you don't do it. You put your phones away and start the engine. Why? To this question, why don't you save even the ones you love? You have an answer. It weighs more than your entire account. And tonight, through one phone call, you will tell it. But first, the couch and the feed where people, who only have money in their profile names, will teach you how to earn. Evening. Buckwheat and chicken are warming up on the stove because you genuinely like buckwheat and chicken. And that is the only truth about you that everyone believes without question. You open your phone, and the feed does what it does every evening. It teaches you how to be rich. First video. A guy by a white Lamborghini. While you sleep, I work. You know that parking garage. They rent out supercars for photo shoots there. An hour costs $20,000. They give you the keys for the shot, but you can't drive it. Second, a wealth mindset mentor. A course for $150,000, 3 spots left. Behind him is a penthouse, a photo studio rented by the hour. You saw it in 3 other courses. Third, a girl unboxing a 1,000,000-ruble bag. Invest in yourselves, girls. The bag is going back tomorrow with the receipt. Fourth, fifth, 10th. All evening, you won't see a single person in your feed who actually has money. And here is the final snapshot of your X-ray, the simplest and most terrifying. In this world, wealth is faked by those who don't have it, and hidden by those who do. The display window and the warehouse never match. The kid from the coffee shop pays interest to look the part. The mentor sells a path he hasn't walked. Meanwhile, real money is eating buckwheat and staying quiet. If you want to find a rich person in a crowd, don't look for the shine, look for the calm. Shine is always selling something. Calm has nothing to sell. You're about to put your phone away, and then it rings. Mom. She's calling, as usual, on a Wednesday about your jacket and your health. It's not about her. It's about what she says after the jacket and health. Son, I ran into your brother at the store. He asked about you. Asked me to tell you he doesn't hold a grudge. Your brother. You haven't spoken in 4 years, and now you have to remember. And since this day has brought you here, remember it to the end. 4 years ago, everything was different. The money came quickly then. Not these $750 million, less. The first serious money that makes your head spin. And you did what any normal person raised on movies about family would do. You told them. Not everyone, just your own. Your mom, your brother. You thought you were sharing your joy. You didn't know you were pressing a button that would blow everything up. The first 2 weeks were fine, but then it started. Mom began talking in a different voice, cautious, like with a boss. She stopped complaining about her blood pressure because now it was awkward. Relatives you'd seen twice in your life suddenly remembered you existed. An uncle asked for money for a business. You gave it. The business died in 6 months. The uncle disappeared. And at family holidays, people started saying you could have given more and that you'd become arrogant. Every conversation started normally and ended with money. You stopped understanding who was calling you and who was calling your bank account. And then there was your brother. He didn't ask. You offered it yourself. Your blood, after all. You paid off his loans, everything, in one transfer. You thought you were gifting him freedom, but you gifted him a mirror in which every day he saw one thing. He was the one who had to be saved. The little brother pulled out by the big brother. He couldn't forgive that. First he disappeared, then he started telling relatives that you were buying the family with handouts. And 6 months later, he called you drunk and said everything. That you were always a lucky freak, that people like you don't earn money, they steal it. Shared blood, one favor, and an empty chair at the New Year's table. Money didn't ruin your brother. It turned on the light in a room where you had both sat in the dark your whole lives. And it turned out that everything held together because you were equals. You removed the equality. Everything collapsed. That's when you did the thing no one knows about. You lied. You told everyone you invested, went bankrupt, the money was gone. You sold your nice car right in front of your family, moved into a regular one-bedroom apartment, and a miracle happened. Mom started complaining about her blood pressure again and shoving $5,000 at you for a jacket. The distant relatives vanished, but your people returned because the equality returned. Your poverty turned out to be the only thing you bought with money that actually made you happy. That is the reason. That is why the crack on the ceiling stays right where it is. That's when you learned the rule you paid the highest price in your life for. Big money doesn't change you, it changes everyone around you. Everyone who finds out automatically gets a role: beggar, envious, advisor, or offended. There are only 4 roles, and none of them is called friend. Not even a brother gets that title. That's why you don't save your friend with a single transfer. Not because you're greedy, that's laughable, but because you've already tried saving your brother. A friend borrows $40,000, pays it back, and remains a friend. An equal who invites you to a barbecue and argues with you about football. Gift him $2.5 million, and in a year, you won't have a friend. You'll just have another person who doesn't hold a grudge. Your silence isn't a safe for your money. It's a safe for your people. The last real people who love you, not a number. If you disagree and believe that loved ones should be saved at any cost, write in the comments. Seriously. This is an argument where it's important to hear both sides. You tell your mom to say hi to him. You hang up, finish your buckwheat, and hang your old jacket on the hook. You two are alike. Nothing to look at on the outside, but inside, everything is real. And you go to sleep in a one-bedroom apartment with a cracked ceiling, richer than anyone you've ever met, and invisible to everyone you love. Tomorrow, the alarm will scream again at 6:30. You will put on that jacket again, stay silent at the meeting, and hold the door for someone. And now you know, this isn't a disguise, it's a choice. Every day you choose people over admiration, silence over applause, reality over the display window. And you live like a king where no one can see it. In sleep, in health, in the absence of fear. $750 million is not what you have. It's what you stay silent about so that you can have everything else. And now, a question for you, the one who watched until the end. If this number appeared in your account tomorrow, would you tell your mom, your brother, your loved one? Think before you answer. Today, you lived a day in the life of a man who once told them. If this story made you stop and think even once, drop a like. It decides whether someone who needs this story will see it. And subscribe. On this channel, we talk about money, the things money prefers to stay silent about. The price of risk is always higher than what's written on the price tag. See you in the next story.